it's the poor's fault. Anyway, I'm going to get a couple things out of here. I have a couple of things I want to do. I'm going to throw what I've always referred to as a cheap trick. It's, and I'll talk about how it came about. And I know I'm just going to cause there to be an incredible number of square plates. Plastic. But I need,
I studied with the guy, his answer to the dripless spout was to cut a little rice grain size hole under the, near the tip on the bottom. So when the drip went down,
it caught
it
again.
got sucked in, because going back down the spout, creating a suction. I don't know whether,
You know, we
it's
work,
cool for
the sharper the edge you can create, the better it's going to be, and the more vulnerable it's going to be. So you're really in this compromise. For those of you who weren't here this morning, you're going to see me weigh clay, and I weigh every piece of clay I throw. It's habit as much as anything else. I'm looking for, nice water back. That weighs a half a pound.
You can't read it.
This really doesn't matter. That's the worst part about it. This could be 3 pounds, it could be 10 pounds for the purposes of this demonstration. I'm weighing it anyway.
270-pound test wire.
Yeah.
That's great. Maybe we'll get a spool of
It helps us to know how much it weighs, so when we try it.
Oh, what? You got
I
some?
don't know if it's
Is
that.
that 6 or 7?
Probably less than that.
More than 7. There's a story to this, as there often are stories to a lot of things that we do. I stared at a picture of a teapot, not a teapot, tea bowl, on this bulletin board, and I didn't necessarily think much of the tea bowl itself. I liked the rim, and I went back to the studio the next day thinking about the rim on this tea bowl, and I didn't even know what I wanted this thing to be, but it certainly didn't end up being what I stared at this little picture. So I have to do an awful lot of conversation with regard to this because I just need it. Oh, and by the way, I'm very left-handed. Most people are right-handed. You're centering like this. True? I can't do this
I teach my students the other way.
this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top, because it makes more sense. Place coming
Yeah,
in.
and if regardless of your physical size, if you get up over the clay and simply fall forward with the weight of your shoulder and let your weight do the work, you're going to be either a lot quicker. Anyway, so you have to be impressed with the fact that this started off with the idea that it was going to be T-bowl-like. And I'm not even going to try to fill in the gap as to how it got to where it's going. Ignore the air bubble. Unimportant. It's huge though. Maybe it isn't. Where'd that come from?
See now, if you
Yeah, bugs now.
So I have this bowl, pretty simple form. Flare out just a little bit.
Don, you said you make all your own clay, you have your own.
I don't make my own clay anymore. I have it made, but it is my formula. Is that,
Get clay art, do it, or?
yeah, clear. My history with the
Yeah.
other place isn't red hot.
I work there, I know all about it. It's amazing how many potters in Portland get their clay from Tacoma, Washington, even though there's a clay supply business in Portland. It's not a good sign.
I've divided this up in half, basically, and I'm going to have it again, only this is a kind of just a rough sort of thing that I'm doing. No, we can probably get into conversations of trust when you're talking about your clay and that it's the foundation of everything you're doing. You need to have that trust, and that's where I found it. So
Why are you dividing that?
for those of you who weren't here this morning, this is my little bit of humor. This is all that is left of 6 years of architectural education. Okay, so that's my triangle. I'm going from point to point. Okay, got that?
Point.
And I've got this thing. Okay. And I'm going to go in at about a 45-degree angle or perpendicular to the wall as it exists, right? So I'm going to do that again.
You'll have to go to architecture school for 6 years before you can do this technique.
Oh, I missed it. Wrong mark. Anyway, this is roughly where I lost interest in what I was trying to do as a T-bowl.
Very nice.
Is that too simple?
It's just some square holes in our future.
They load really.
First time I demonstrated this was at a workshop up at Tacoma Community College, and I was talking just like I'm talking now, and I laid it down, and this woman had her camera. I don't know what she was doing. She was looking at the picture she took last or something. She looked up and it was done, and she went. So I had to do it over.
Oh,
There's evidence of an air bubble. There's one there. And so, pretty simple.
you make it look simple.
This one, no. I love this rib. I love this rib too. These are,
Those are bought.
they're purchased. Hey,
You make me make it out of a knife.
where is my knife? Nope, it's here somewhere.
Right under the wheel head on the left side. You mean the big?
No, I talked this morning, and I do walk every morning. And you find things when you walk in the early morning. I found this just around the corner from the Baghdad Theater, only it had a handle on it. And probably, you're wondering, why is this laying in the middle of the street? But I just saw it as a really good pottery tool, so I took it home and broke the handle off. And there are a lot of tools that I have that are things like that. I don't know if, one. This is my favorite throwing stick, and this was a kitchen tool that my wife, she didn't like that little bend in it, and she threw it in the garbage, and I grabbed it out and modified what it was, and it's really a wonderful tool for me. And on very specific forms that I make, it is my inside hand. I have another throwing stick that cost me $25 or something. It was hand carved by Jack Troy, and I never use it. Went to the beach